Hello, and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal75. This is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews. I bet if you can't read the neck of that bottle, you can guess what this is. I just got home from work. It is 5:58 on Tuesday, December 27th, 2016. Time of review. Like I say, I just got home from work. I wanted to crack open a good beer, not too many alcohol by volume, not percentage-wise, not too big, but wanted a little something hoppy and not too overly crazy. So I found this one. It comes from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. It was found inside of their snowpack, and this one was packaged and put into the package on September 12th, 2016. It is the one and only classic iconic beer since 1980. It is Sierra Nevada Pale. There it is. Pale Ale. Pale Ale is a completely natural ale brewed with the finest malted barley, whole cone hops, brewer's yeast, and pure water. Each bottle is conditioned naturally, creating a unique and flavorful ale. In 1980, we created a beer highlighting the bold pine and citrus flavors of whole cone Cascade hops. Today, our all-natural bottle-conditioned pale ale is recognized worldwide as a classic. And they're brewing beers not only in their headquarters in Chico, California, but now also in Mills River, North Carolina. And that's probably where this came from. They're using Magnum and Pearl hops for, I believe, finishing. And the bittering is Cascade. This is 5.6% alcohol by volume. And it's 38 IBUs. So not too over the top bitter on paper, but hi, Eric Alliance fan. Thank you for watching the live review. I have the chat up. If anybody wants to hit me up, do so. Now, the cool thing I like about Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and I don't know if it's going to show up on camera or not, but it is unfiltered, so it will help it to create some extra flavors. No, you can't really see it in this particular bottle and the pour of it, but have it in a Trillium Archaic double IPA glass. And it definitely has the West Coast flair and the West Coast Pale and single IPA and even double kind of a look to it. It's definitely that orangey copper, rusty hazy look to it. Somewhere, yeah, it's somewhat off-white, somewhat of a tan looking head there. You might be able to see some of that hazy sediment there. Yeah, I suppose. And there's lots of carbonation. It's very effervescent, not too much popping and fizzing, but it's what you'd expect for a pale ale brewed in the West Coast. So let's get a nose on the Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale and see what it's all about. Yes, yep. The nose is definitely pine. Pine and some citrusy notes, grapefruits, lemon zest, orange peel, pineapple. Again, typical to your West Coast IPAs and pale ales is going to have that grapefruit kind of a note to it. Not juicy, but just tropical in note. Definitely the caramel malts are showing up here. Sweet, bready barley malt. Definitely a white bread kind of a component there. Yeah. That's what I'm getting out of that smell. Let's see what I'm getting out of that taste for the however many-th time I've ever had this beer. Cheers, guys. Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale. First time I've ever reviewed it somehow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely is, if not the most hoppy beer, or if not the most hoppy American-style pale ale on the market, it's got to be one of the closest ones. And wherever you find beer, you should be able to find, well, I only put it this way. Wherever you can find craft beer, you should be able to find this one. At one point in time, I don't know if the stats still reign true today. At one point in time, this was number 2, right below Samuel Adams' Boston Lager for highest selling craft beer in America. So it's got a long history and tradition of doing things right. A lot of people like to use this as their go-to craft beer when they can't find anything else, or they just want to stock their fridge or something kind of tasty. But what am I getting out of the flavor there? Again, it's the tropical citrus notes. There is some of that pine. There is a little bit of a leathery note. Light oils, light resinous, sappy kind of notes. It's even lighter dank notes. Definitely caramel and toffee type malts. Maybe even a little bit of a honey-like sweetness to it. Definitely biscuity. Definitely white kind of bready notes to it. And I like that this is unfiltered. It just gives it a different kind of a yeasty component, which I like. I'd say it's a straight up medium body. Finish is crisp, clean, refreshing. There's a little bit of residual sweetness before it dries. You're definitely getting almost an orangey marmalade, light notes of those as it dries. But, I mean, this is a classic, iconic beer that is great any time of the year. If you want to introduce somebody to a hoppier beer that may not be a fan of hoppier beers, and you don't want to overly offend that person in trying to get into hoppy beers, that potentially may not even, end up liking this beer, I think this is a safe way to go. Although, again, with the caution that I say from a little earlier in the review, I think it is one of the hoppiest pale ales made in America in the American style. I think if another brewery, depending on who it is, I think if another brewery brewed this Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, brewed the exact same recipe, and put their own label and marketing behind it. I know Sierra Nevada is calling it a Pale Ale, but other places might even consider it an IPA. And, I mean, it's good beer. I mean, I'm going to give it a low A. It's not my favorite Pale Ale, but it's certainly one that occasionally I will go back to. I don't really run out to the store to go and buy the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I like the Hoptimum IPA. That's one of my favorite IPAs from Sierra Nevada and in the world. But like I say, I think it's hoppy enough that one brewery could call this an IPA. And the terminology of IPA and Pale Ale is just, to me, in this day and age, is so interchangeable. It doesn't really matter what you call it. If it's a good beer, it's a good beer. So I'm going to go have some dinner and have the rest of this Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Thank you for watching, Erica Lions fan. Thank you for watching the rest of YouTube. Till next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. We'll see you soon. Whatever you call it, Pale Ale, IPA, great beer. Cheers.